Hey, and welcome to the Basic to Bold podcast. I'm your host, Jen Bjarnson. I know we have been gone for a little bit. I took some time to figure out what it is that I wanted, what is it that I wanted to do moving forward, who I'm doing this for. I'm a huge believer in reevaluating what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want. Or in other words, figure out what is working and figuring out what isn't working. So I did that. I took a little bit of time off. I really readjusted, looked at my life, and I thought, okay, what's working? What's not working? What do I want to keep doing? What do I not want to keep doing? And I am really excited about the new direction that I want to go. And I don't know that it's going to be much different than what I've talked about, other than in my mind, it looks a little different and I just have a little bit more clarity. And I think one of the things that's so important is that when things don't really make sense sometimes, to readjust and to start looking at our lives at, again, what's working, what's not working. And one of the things while I was on this journey, I guess, of trying to figure out what I wanted, I knew certain things that weren't working, but I didn't really know what was working. I didn't really know the direction that I wanted to go. I knew the easy way to go. I knew that, make content, or I need to cook food. I need to clean the house. I knew the things that I had just always done out of habit or out of necessity. But, when I kind of woke up and looked around, I thought, there are a lot of things in my life that I have to do, but don't necessarily bring me a whole lot of joy. I'm just doing it because they have to get done. And I think sometimes, specifically as moms, I'm going to talk to moms and women because that's what I am. I don't think it's exclusive to us, but that's just my experience. And so for me, I woke up a lot of days going, I know what needs to be done. There's got to be 3 meals a day. There's the laundry, the cooking, the dishes. It always has to happen. But what I found is when I had looked at my day, the majority of my day was stacked with a bunch of stuff that was really undesirable. It was a lot of like, oh, okay, here we go again. Okay, this has to get done and this has to get done. And it's not to say that I didn't enjoy my life or I didn't like my life, but it's like I woke up one day and the majority of my day was just a bunch of things that had to get done, but really didn't bring me joy or really didn't bring a whole lot of excitement to me waking up. It's not like I woke up every day going, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I get to do this. I get to cook. I get to do the laundry. And maybe some people and maybe other people do, which that's great. But I was really tired of waking up with a whole lot of stuff that had to get done and not a whole lot of things that I was excited to do, which led me to kind of down the rabbit hole of, I think a lot of times we kind of get in the rat race of life. And so many times we end up in this place in life that we don't even mean to be, but there's so many things that just have to get done. There's so many things, like once you get kids and a career and just obligations of things that have to be done. But if you're like me, maybe you wake up one day and go, my day is really stacked with a lot of things that I am not looking forward to doing. Now the reasoning as to why I was doing them, I want to support somebody, or I want my family to have certain experiences or to have certain things. So the idea of it wasn't like I was, poor me, or, oh, my life has just turned into this horrible thing. It was all starting off in a good way. But the interesting thing is it was kind of a runaway train that it got to a point where I just was waking up to a whole lot of things that I wasn't excited about. I wasn't thrilled about. And it got to a point where I really felt burnout. And I think that's where burnout comes from. I really do believe that that's where a lot of burnout comes from, is when you look at your day and you just have so many things that you have to do. You have to eat. Your family has to eat. The laundry has to get done. The shopping has to get done. Homeschooling, in my case, has to get done. The car has to be registered. Like all of these things have to get done. And yeah, we've curated this life. But if you ever find yourself in this situation, that you're in burnout, I want you to really take a look at your life. And that's what I did. I really took a look at my life, and I encourage you to do this. What does your day look like? Is it filled with a bunch of things that you just have to do? So that was the first step. I looked around. I noticed my day was full of have-tos. And I do think, I want to take a moment here, and I do think there's a point where, yes, we should say, I get to cook my family food. I get to do the laundry. These are really grateful things. I do think it's important to be grateful. I think that's important. I also think there is a balance of being grateful. That's important. But there's also a balance of kind of this self-sacrificing serve mode. And that's kind of where I was. I felt very grateful for my life. And I really do feel grateful that I get to do all these things, because I do. But when I looked at it, it was a whole lot of serving, and there wasn't a whole lot of refilling my cup. I heard this example where somebody said, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath in, keep breathing in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, right? And it looks like you just keep breathing in. And the idea is, don't breathe out. Just keep breathing in, keep breathing in. All right, now you can stop. Now the next part is, okay, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, keep breathing out, don't breathe in, keep breathing out, right? So if you take these two extremes, you can't keep taking. It's just not possible. And you can't just keep giving. The whole balance of life is you take a deep breath in, you take a deep breath out, right? And that's the way it should be. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And what I noticed in my life is I was just giving. What do you need? Oh, what do you need? Oh, how can I serve you? How can I serve you? And I think there are times that, one, I have fallen into the trap where I've heard, be grateful, give service, whether it's, from a church stance or just mindset of, don't think about yourself, just give, or don't think about yourself. The happiest people are the ones who serve. And I do think that can be great. At the same time, I guarantee you, those people that are happy, they are doing things for themselves. Because the idea that you're just serving, that's not possible. It's just like breathing in and out. You cannot just give. You have to take a breath in order to breathe out. And so that was the first step that I started looking at, is I am on this habit. I have this, even a belief system of giving. I was listening to a speech, and basically somebody had mentioned different steps of a relationship. And I'll be really honest, I don't remember all of them, but here are the ones that I do remember. The first step is I win, you lose, right? Or vice versa. You lose, I win. Somebody wins, somebody loses. Okay. That's like the lowest form. Then at one point they said this one, and this is the one that I was. And it is, you win, I serve. So I serve, you win, right? And that one hit me the hardest because that is exactly what I was doing. I was just serving everyone. I wasn't taking anything for myself. I wasn't trying to take anything for myself. I wasn't trying to replenish myself. I was just serving. I was just giving. What do you need? What do you need? Let me add value here. Let me add value here without trying to replenish myself. Okay. And I don't want to beat this to the ground, but this was such an eye-opening experience for me that I am sure somebody out there needs to recognize that you have got to start replenishing yourself if you're this giver. All right. If you're this giving type person where you feel bad taking, or you feel bad for somebody paying you for your service, or you feel bad or selfish if you are constantly not giving to your family. It's unrealistic. It's just not realistic. This is where burnout, this is where I even think if it gets so far, I think even depression can come from this. I know it happened to me. So start really recognizing, start working on the idea, the habit that you might have of this need to serve that you constantly have to give. All right, that was the first thing. Then to the second part, in this stair step idea, right? I got past this you win, I serve idea. And what we got to, what the healthiest one was, is I win, you win, or no deal, right? You win, I win, no deal. Okay. And this was mind blowing to me. This was like, what? I get a win too? Are you kidding me? Like, that's how it's supposed to be. That's supposed to be a healthy relationship. That was like crazy. And I know some of you may listen and be like, yeah, hello, not me. That was mind blowing. So this is what I started doing. I started waking up in my day. I started looking at my schedule. I started looking at my routine. And now I didn't just stop everything, but I really started to reevaluate. And I thought, okay, if you win, I win, no deal, what does that look like in everything? I get what it looks like in a partnership. I get what it looks like in a service or a business industry. Like I get that, right? I give you a service or a product, you pay me what I feel like it's worth and you feel like it's worth, right? You get something, I get something, or no deal. I understand that. But what does that look like in a household? What does that look like as a mom? What does that look like as a dad who has to go to work because you have to get your family, you have to have finances. It's not a negotiable thing. So what does that look like for a mom and a dad, or a husband and a wife, or a relationship? What does that look for? I win, you win, no deal. That's it. That's the only option. If I win and you win, or no deal. How does that even work? And so I started looking at my life and I thought, I'm going to go through everything that I do, every activity, every habit, everything that I have, everything that I'm doing, and I'm going to take this approach. And I am telling you, it changed the way that I looked at things. As an example, for years, I have really struggled with liking cooking. Okay. And it's kind of an interesting thing because every now and again, I really get on this kick of like, let's make some muffins and let's have cookies. And so it's not that I hate cooking, right? When I started kind of diving into this, I thought there are certain things that I don't mind cooking. At the same time, I frequently have this feeling every night about 4 or 5 o'clock where I'm like, oh, I have to cook. What are we going to have for dinner? This is, oh my word, here we go again, right? There are times when I just dreaded the idea of cooking. And I know I'm not alone in this, but we're also in a season of life, I need to cook. I am the one who right now, in the way that our household works, it works the best if I am the one in charge of the meals. All right. Now I'm very aware there are probably so many variations of the way people do this. And you could say my husband cooks, my kids cook. I get that. in the season of life right now that we are in, this is what works best for us. And so it wasn't really a matter of, well, how do I get out of cooking? How do I not be the one that cooks? It really was, this is something that has to happen. And what's interesting is sometimes I don't mind it and sometimes I'm dreading it. So what's the difference? What's the difference if sometimes I don't mind it and I could be in the kitchen making a bunch of different types of food and I could be absolutely fine? And what's the difference with sometimes I'm just dreading this idea? And when I started to really look at it objectively of, okay, this is something that has to happen. And two, if it has to happen, how does it happen where my family gets fed so they win, but also I win? How do they win and I win, or no deal? How does that work? And I really started reevaluating the way my kitchen was set up, the way our pantry was, the way I even did shopping, the way I cooked, the food that I cooked. I recognized that there were some things I was so sick of making, even though it's a family favorite. I'm so done. I cannot have that meal anymore. And if anybody wants it, you can cook it. Okay. I'm so done making certain things because I'm so tired of them. And that's okay. And this is just a really basic, really very specific to, homeschooling, stay at home mom. I get that. I really understand that. But here's what I want you to do is I want you to take things in your life. Maybe you love cooking, but there's definitely something in your life. If you're in this phase of life where it just feels stuck and it just feels like burnout, there's definitely things in your life that probably have to happen and you are just so over them, right? You're just so done. And that's okay. I also found other things in my life that I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And I did find ways that I don't have to do them and I won't do them because you may win, but I don't win. So nope, no more. And I started looking at all the different areas of my life, the cleaning, the organizing, the church, activities and the homeschooling activities and even business things, content creating. I sat and I looked at it and I thought, what am I getting out of this? Because I know I can add value to people, but what am I getting out of this to make it a win-win situation? And what I started to notice, all right, so this is kind of the third part. That's the second part. You got to really start evaluating. Then the third part is I really started to stack my day. And this took a minute because there were so many things that were obligations and I didn't really know how to make them not feel like obligations, right? They had to happen, but I thought, okay, how do I make this not feel like an obligation? How do I make this a win for me? And it takes some time because you kind of have to sift through things. Some things I chucked out completely. I'm like, we're not doing that anymore. And what was fascinating is nobody cared. Nobody cared. There was a few homeschool activities that when I told the kids, I said, I don't want to do this. Do you guys want to do this? And they all said, no, we were doing it because basically you wanted to do it. So what you'll find is the third step is you start to do things with this attitude. You start to reevaluate things and you'll notice that your day gets stacked with things that are a win for you, that you actually start getting excited about things. You actually start getting excited about your day because it's a win for you. Now, I don't always love cooking, obviously. I don't always just get so excited, but I have now made it that one, it's not that difficult anymore. It's not a struggle anymore. That when I need to go cook something, I can do it quickly. I have systems in place. It's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. And so even though it may not be something I'm so passionate about, it has to get done, but it's so easy now that it's not a they win, I lose. It's not a, okay, my family got fed, but man, I am done. My mental is on the floor because it took so much power and energy just to figure out something. It was a no-brainer. That's where the win comes in for me. Now, other things, I found how to make them actual pleasurable to where now I'm excited to do them. So now the majority of my day is stacked up with a lot of stuff I want to do. Some things, yes, I'm not really excited to do them, but they're fine. It's not really positive. It's not really negative. They have to get done, but I can do them. Not that hard. And then there's very, very few things that I'm not really that excited about, but I'm excited for the result. And what that looks like is we have ducks, and the ducks get really gross. If you have any kind of animal, they get really gross, and their pond needs to be cleaned out frequently. Well, it's a gross job. Nobody likes to do it. But I love my ducks. I love them. I just love the whole thing. So even though I do not like the cleaning part, I do not like, that is not a fun thing. The result of having the ducks is completely worth it. They bring me so much joy. So there are going to be things that initially you don't want to do, but the end result is very much worth it. And that's okay. That's okay to do something because you're still winning in the end. It may not at the time, doesn't feel like a win, but in the long run, it's a win. When I started looking at my day like this, now I have much more pleasurable things. I have a few things that are just so-so, but they need to get done. And I have very few things I don't want to do, but I want the end result. And what it's turned into is I'm genuinely excited about waking up in the day. I'm really excited about the things that I'm doing because it's stuff I am excited about. Even though my day looks very similar, I've changed the way I get rewarded from it. My day doesn't look that much different. I still cook, I still homeschool, I still have a lot of obligations, but the way that I have now taken it in to add value to me or to add joy to my life, that's changed everything. So now I don't do anything I really don't want to do. And at first, that really felt selfish. That really felt difficult. But now I see the value of it because I can give so much more in the long run. My day, I have so much more energy. I have so much more that I am happy to do. And when things come along that I really don't want to do, it's not that big of a deal because the majority of my day is a lot of stuff I want to do. When my day was full of things I just dreaded and I didn't want to do and I had to do, then if something came up like, hey, you got to go take the car in, it was like, oh, another thing, one more thing I don't want to do. Now it's just on my list. Got it. No problem. If you can start shifting your mindset to where you get to win, it has made all the difference in my life. One of the things I really want to encourage is if you've ever looked into hypnotherapy or energy healing, sometimes that can be extremely helpful. It did for me. It was a massive help. I even have a few recordings if you want to go check it out to help you let go of these feelings of guilt, shame, oh, that's selfish, things like that. And so if you want to go check my other videos, I know that I have a few that you can try to see if that helps you get past these negative belief systems even faster. So thank you for listening. And I will see you guys next time. Make sure that you share this if you can think of anybody who maybe needs this. And that just helps me out so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have an amazing week, day, and we'll see you later.